The tall, gangly thing?
Hello and welcome. Today I am joined by DQA, one of the NA representatives at the TFT Fates World Championships, and also the second highest placing North American at the event. DQA, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I think that overall North American Worlds was overall success. Obviously, Ramchem placing third, and then all the other contestants doing what we do best, and then we all placed pretty okay, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And so, before we get started, for those who are not as familiar with you, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm DQA, and I started playing TFT in set one. Initially, I wasn't sure whether I would like the game or not, but I kind of got hooked with my friends playing, and then I hit Challenger, and I've stayed Challenger ever since. But during set four was the first time I really made a breakout. I hit rank 1 playing Dusk, and since then I feel like I've gotten a lot better at the game, and I've hit top 5, close hovering rank 1 for most of set 4.5 now.
Very nice. Yeah, and so let's talk about Worlds a little bit now. Going into Worlds, just to kind of give some context around your situation, you had tweeted just a couple weeks before the event that your house had actually gotten hit by a tornado, and from what I understand, everyone was okay, but obviously you couldn't live in your house. How did that actually affect your preparation going into Worlds?
Yeah, so right before, a couple weeks before Worlds, we actually went on vacation for a spring break, and then we left in the morning at 5 a.m. and then the tornado hit just 2 or 3 hours later, and then it completely decimated my neighbor's house, and it did severe damage to my house, and so then we were forced to stay in a hotel, and then in the hotel there was not stable internet. I couldn't stream, I couldn't even play off stream. So then we had to figure out a last minute solution. Luckily, my house is declared structurally stable, so we were actually allowed to come back, and then I was able to stream Worlds from home. But we're probably going to move back out once the construction starts on our house. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, so you were actually able to participate in all of the in-house scrims or the same preparation that you would have, or do you feel like it actually did change kind of how you prepared for Worlds?
No, I completely think that I would have done a lot more preparation if I was able to, because everyone did a lot of in-house scrims, and I was just sitting there at my hotel trying to watch all the VODs of the in-houses, try to watch however I can, because obviously I could not successfully play on my own. So I think that if the tornado did not occur, I would have gotten a lot more prep in. I would have been able to make more use out of the in-houses and everything like that. But unfortunately I wasn't able to, but overall I'm pretty happy with my placement either way.
Yeah, I mean, despite the circumstances, you had a very, very good run. 9th place, maybe not the finish you wanted, especially with such a heartbreaking end to your run, but a great standing nonetheless. So going into the event, what were your expectations, and how do you actually feel about your play during the tournament?
So I actually thought I going into the tournament, I was a lot less confident. When I went into NA regionals, I was thinking that I would be able to win. I was really confident at the time because I was everyone on ladder was preparing at the time, and I was rank 1 with 1900 LP or something like that. So then and going into regionals, I was super confident. Going to Worlds was the exact opposite. I was so after screaming with all the Chinese players, and I was feeling they were so good, and I didn't get enough preparation in. I was sitting there feeling really overwhelmed, but I mean, obviously it worked out well, and I think that after the first day, when NA played so well, that really boosted my confidence, and I played well the second day.
Now, you're talking about regional finals a little bit. I do kind of want to backtrack to that a bit. Going into regional finals, everyone kind of had you pinned as the Kayle guy, right? And going into Worlds, Kayle has seen a little bit of nerfs. And while we did see you play some Kayle, we also saw you flexing into other comps as well that maybe we wouldn't have seen you play during regional finals or the other qualifiers. Was this in response to the Kayle nerfs, or was that actually that you wanted to play a bit wider because of the caliber of the tournament?
I think it was a mix of both, because while I think that Kayle definitely did get nerfed, and it was very noticeable, and Kayle wasn't the strongest comp by any means during final or during World, sorry. But I do think that she was definitely still playable, and my scores with her were extremely good. I think I bought forward one time total playing Kayle over the span of both days playing Worlds, and then I didn't play that many. But one of the main things I was going into the tourney was thinking I would be like playing more flex because A, it was like better for the meta, and then B, I wanted to like more prove myself that like it didn't have to be Kayle that I could play right.
You know, and speaking about Kayle, one of the games that you did play Kayle ended up being the most important match of the tournament. That's game 5 of day 2. Going into it, the scores are super close, and you have to have known before the game that you needed to top 2 to even have a chance to advance to the final day. Can you kind of talk me through your thought process going into that game and during the game itself?
So during the game, I was really just thinking that like I wouldn't like really adjust my playstyle in one way or another. I was just gonna play towards like what I think was strongest at the time, and like if I make it, I make it. And if I don't, I don't. But obviously like the stars aligned or something, and I got dropped like perfect Kayle items, and like my star was really good for it. And then I was just thinking that like my spell was really good on 5-1, but then like I rolled down and I just completely missed Kayle. Like I rolled like a lot of gold and I just had Kayle 1, but then like my whole board wasn't a really upgrade or anything like that. But I think that like that game, like I knew I was super nervous, and like I knew that like that was the most important game out of it, all of the tournament. So then I was just like sweating positioning every round, and I actually managed to top 3 even before hitting Kayle 2 on and then I finally hit Kayle 2 on 6-1, and I was thinking at 6-1 I could probably get a first place there, but then like obviously this mirror player was just too strong in the end. But I think that like I did play that game really, really well, especially considering the fact that I missed Kayle and then like I had to play with a Kayle 1. I think that in the final fight, there's a possibility I win, but his Samira was obviously very, very strong, and I would have to get like good fight RNG and also like out of position like very, very well in order to ever win that fight. So it was quite difficult, and there's a lot of pressure, but I mean, I made the best out of it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was heartbreaking to watch. Obviously, everyone from North America was rooting for you, and actually, I think a lot of people probably thought that even with the top 2, you were going to advance, and so it was so sad to see that once again North America loses the tiebreaker to Europe. It's I mean, so poetic at this point in time. But let's kind of talk about the field at the event. Which player actually impressed you most at Worlds?
I think it was actually just jaywalking. Like it's not that like he really won the tournament, but I just look at his scores on day 1 and day 2, and he just seemed like super consistent overall. I think on day 1 he went like 3rd overall, and then he went like 2-8, 2-2, 2-2 or something like that. And then on day 2, once again he pulled out the same. He was super flexible with all of his comps, and then like I was just watching like a little bit of like the main broadcast. I was watching it back, and like he just seemed like whenever like the broadcast was on him, he just always seemed like he knew what he was doing, and like slamming good items, and like he was just playing well throughout the like entire tournament. And then obviously on the final day, I think that his board was actually the weakest out of the 3 boards, but he actually managed to win anyway because of like positioning differences or like the counter matchup into Slayers and just like his ability overall.
What were the biggest takeaways that you're kind of walking away from this event with?
I think that the biggest takeaways is that TFT can become like a real esport, and I think that like with the viewership numbers in the whole tournament and like the hype surrounding it, I think that like watching TFT was just like super fun. So then like even after like I got eliminated on the second day, I casted like the day 3 of the tournament with a few of my friends. So like I think that like casting that and like just watching it overall and like the competitive aspect of it, it made me feel like there's like a real future to this basically.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. And you know, now that the dust has settled, going into the event, we're talking about regional strength. Everyone is hyping up Europe. Everyone is saying Europe is the strongest region by far. And coming out of the event, Europe had 3 players in the top 8. North America had the highest average placement from all the major regions, and Korea won the event with the fewest representatives from all the major regions. So I think there's kind of an argument for a lot of different regions. But if it were up to you, which region do you think is actually the strongest in the world?
To be honest, I don't think that like it's any one particular region. I think that it's more based off of like the individual player. Like a lot of times, like I think that like while people may say like one region may be stronger than another, I think that like the individual player like strength is like completely like separate from it, because like a lot of times there's like players that are above a cut above the rest in like any particular region. So then like in general, like I would just say like it's more based off the individual player than any other region. However, I would like to say I think that like obviously EU performed very, very consistently, and I think that NA overall did well considering like the circumstances we were under, and like obviously we are like I mean, I'm not gonna say like any of the regions didn't low roll, but like we kind of low rolled on day 2, and then I would also obviously Korea won the event, and I think that after watching SCSC and Jaywalking play, I think that both of them are very skilled, but I'm not sure if like that's based off the region itself or if it's more based off of like the individual player prep and like their skill in general.
one of the major regions that didn't really have a great showing was China, who, although had a lot of representation at the event, seemed to just fail to execute on their plan. And a lot of people talked about the meta differences of China versus the rest of the world, in particular Korea, going into Worlds. What do you think actually went wrong for the Chinese representatives?
So in the few days before we played the actual event, while they did like in-houses with us, we had like in-houses set up with them, and then like Sox was saying how their meta was just like significantly more advanced than ours, and I tend to agree because like I think that like they played like very flexible comps. They played a lot of Callista and like a lot of different 3-cost carries, and I think that there was like their meta is just like faster paced and like more advanced than ours and more developed than ours would have been. But I do think that like their execution was like slightly poor, and I think that like in houses, the reason that they felt so strong was because their meta was advanced. But the thing is that in houses you cannot simulate like the real like tournament environment and like the strength of like boards in a tournament, because obviously everyone in house is going to be limit testing. So then in tournament, I think that they got punished for like their econ heavy playstyle. So then like they just bled out before they hit like the capped boards that they should have been able to hit with like their advanced meta. So then they just got punished harder would be the best way to put it, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely exciting to see the different metas play out and to see all of the regions all clash in one final closing to Set 4. And this Wednesday, the PBE is going to be coming out for Set 5. So I wanted to take a minute and kind of look back at Set 4 and ask you, what were some of the things about Set 4 that you most enjoyed, and what are some things that you are hoping are improved for Set 5?
Most enjoyed. I think that like the wide variety of the comps in like, especially in like the past few weeks of like Set 4.5 and like the end of Set 4, I think that like the balance was like very, very good. And I think that like the variety of units, but like I think that like overall the game design team has done like a very good job with like both the meta developing and like the design of the units overall. During Set 5 though, I think I would like more like variety and like play styles to play, ways to play the game, and also like basically like I would like the chosen mechanic has become kind of stale, and like obviously like I do think that there's like still skill expression and like the chosen mechanic, just like how I believe Stock says in a few of his previous interviews. But I do think that like it's gotten a little stale, and like we're looking for like change, and also like I mean the more skill expression that you put in the game, the better.
Definitely. Can't argue with that. I think a lot of people are very excited to see Set 5 in action. It's going to be a very exciting week for sure. Now, what I would love to know, though, is what your plans for Set 5 are. Can we still expect to see you streaming and competing?
Yes. So I actually just finished up with my college decisions, and I got accepted into a couple schools, and I will maybe starting there in the fall, and I've also been considering taking a gap year to just like continue streaming. But either way, even if I do decide to go to school, I will be streaming daily and my normal hours, and I will be trying my best to compete. As soon as Set 5 releases, I'm planning on grinding PB a lot before then, and then I'm planning on getting like hitting the ground running at the start of Set 5, just so that I can get like the early practice in, and then like remain as like one of the top streamers.
Awesome. Yeah, that's very, very exciting to hear. DQA, that's actually everything I have for you. Is there anything you wanted to shout out before we go?
I'd like to shout out like my friends that helped me prep for Worlds. I think that like the community, the high elo community is like really, really nice, and then like we all like tend to support each other. I think that like that's like a really big thing. And then I'd like to shout out like how the game designers, obviously, and then all the people that like put their work and like their time into like making TFT an esport, and I hope that like it continues in the future.
Awesome. All right, well, DQA, thank you again for sitting down. I know you may not have gotten the result that you wanted at Worlds, but honestly, you and all the NA representatives made so many of us at home so proud. It was awesome to see NA show up, and you guys really did a lot of work to help put NA on the map for the future. So can't wait to see what else you do in the future. For those of you who are watching, thank you guys so much for watching this interview. For more TFT guides, content, and interviews, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys later.